Welcome to this free training, guys. In today's video, there's going to be a super value-packed breakdown on how we actually help this e-commerce brand scale their Facebook ad spend from $5,000 a month all the way to $30,000 a month while achieving even better results. And I'm going to pull back the curtain on the ad account and a ton of different things so you guys can gain value from this video and learn how to scale your own e-commerce brand ad account. So let's dive in. On the screen, guys, you can see just a quick little recording here of the ad account. So in June 2023, they were spending $4,800 a month. And by the time we've helped them scale and finished off August, you can see we spent $32,000 with a $175,000 return. We're not just gonna go ahead and use the screen recording, guys. We're gonna go ahead and break down the exact ad account and everything inside. So before we do, who are we? Guys, my name is Jordan Bazouzi. If you're unfamiliar, I'm the CEO and founder at New Reach Media. Guys, we're an e-commerce growth partner working and partnering with anywhere between 15 to 20 brands at any given point in time. So if you're a 7- and 8-figure brand, whether you're looking to help with your paid advertising, your retention marketing, your conversion optimization, or your user-generated content, these are the 4 pillars that we specialize in as a team to become a small extension of yours and help you guys scale. So without further ado, guys, in today's video, I'm going to be breaking this down as we pull back the curtain on the actual ad account, basically into 3 different structures here. We're going to be focusing on the ad account structure, right? So the different campaign types we're using, the structure overall, and the budgets we're utilizing. Number 2, we're going to be breaking down the creative creation process and how we're actually driving clicks at scale. So again, the creative types, how we're creating user-generated content and content that converts. Ultimately, better ads equal a higher click-through rate, a lower cost per click, and ultimately more money in your pocket. And lastly, we're going to review the account optimization. So how we're scaling ad spend, how we're testing things, and how we're actually optimizing the account overall. So without further ado, guys, let's dive right on into the ad account. Okay, guys, so now we are on to the live ad account. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page just so you guys know that this is legit. Go full refresh here. But this is from when we actually helped starting to scale this brand in June, rather. So they did around $5,000 in spend. There's actually quite a few metrics I want you guys to look at here. So they had like the ads spread out in multiple different prospecting campaigns, re-engagement campaigns. You know, nothing was really segmented properly in terms of the actual account structure. And when we come into an account, we really like to consolidate things as much as we possibly can, focusing the majority of our budget on top of funnel campaigns. Generally, we'll have 2 or 3, and I'll show you what I mean in a moment. And generally we'll spend the other 10 to 15% on middle and bottom of funnel comparatively. So if you actually go ahead and take a look at the types of campaigns that they were running before, they had 2 different CBO campaigns. So campaign budget optimization campaigns for top of funnel and a sale. They also had 2 other prospecting campaigns that were sort of targeting the same audiences in an ABO, so ad budget optimization. And then they had 1 re-engagement campaign spending $10 a day using a CBO campaign. Now, this doesn't really matter whether you're using a CBO or an ABO. The point is understanding how both work and how you can both utilize to your advantage. So the reason we like to use ABO campaigns, especially during testing, is it really allows us to have much further control on where we're spending our budget within the ad sets and within the individual creatives. What we'll end up using a CBO for is when we have a very good understanding as to what's winning in terms of audiences, creatives, etc. And we'll give Facebook all of this data, run it on a CBO, and let their AI decide where we're going to spend the majority of this budget as we look to scale. And the second biggest issue inside of this ad account, guys, that we noticed as we took things over in June is our unique click-through rate. Now you can see it's actually pretty good at this point, 2.8%, but when we brought on our UGC team to create high converting content, we legitimately doubled their click-through rate, which obviously had a very, very big piggyback effect in terms of us being able to lower cost per click, ultimately drive more people to the website and start bringing in a hell of a lot more money and revenue. So as we go ahead, and I'm going to transition this over to month 2, you can see we slowly have scaled the ad spend here. So we went from $5,000 a month to $8,000 a month. And guys, you can see like we are starting to test a little bit of our user generated content as we did get about a 1.2% increase in unique click-through rate. But that's the biggest thing that we're waiting for right now as we transition from June to July to August, where we go from spending $5,000 to $8,000 all the way to $30,000 $2,000, maintaining efficiency and actually improving the results, right? And it all comes down to the creative and the structure of the account that we're starting to build. So in July, we are starting to test some of this user-generated content and how we're going to go ahead and create it. I'll walk you guys through that towards the end of this video. But we started to consolidate the account into 3 main campaigns. One being our main prospecting testing campaign, which this is going to be run as an ABO. And this is where we're going to be having the ability to test all the different audiences that we want, but as well as test creative at scale and move it into our winning campaign once we find out what's working. And as a secondary testing campaign, guys, because we're starting to produce so much volume of user-generated content for this brand, we're utilizing a dynamic creative test to split test different hooks, different call to actions, and ultimately different pieces of creative at scale. And you can see, let me go ahead and get the total results here. So by the next month, we took them from in June, right, having a 1.18x return on ad spend to in July spending almost double, right, with a 4.34x return on ad spend. And this really comes down to us restructuring the account the way that we want and consolidating the campaigns, but then B, really started to create high converting content for them, which is the biggest lever for this brand that allowed us to scale to 30K a month in spend. So come August, this is where we have finally delivered on all of our user generated content. We are ready to go in terms of testing. Now it's a matter of scaling our budgets and optimizing the account to maintain efficiency as we scale. And you can see the month of August, we ended up spending $32,000 with a 5.39x return on ad spend, or that was attributed to Facebook, with over $175,000 in revenue generated for this brand just from Facebook ads. And for them to scale from $5,000 a month in spend and generating $8,000 in revenue to this point in just 60 days shows the importance and the power of creative. And the one thing I want you guys to notice, super important, guys, like I said, how important creative was to this account. In the month of August, the unique click-through rate was almost 5%, right? Meaning 5 out of every 100 people that see our ads are clicking on the ad and going to the website, which is huge. And us being able to legitimately almost 3x this in 60 days shows why you need to be continuously testing and creating new content to utilize, especially on Facebook and Instagram ads. And one of the biggest levers to us scaling the ad spend so dramatically, guys, if you'll notice, the top campaign here is the Advantage Plus campaign that we're really starting to utilize in all of the accounts that we're working with, because once we have the data from month 1, month 2, month 3 to understand what creative is performing, we can start to utilize Facebook's AI, utilize the Advantage Plus campaign. And you can see in here, we have obviously one single ad set running completely broad, 4.23x unique click-through rate, $12,000 spent, guys, $56,000 in revenue, and we only have 5 total ads in here, and these are our 5 best performing creatives for the past couple months. And you can see just how well this is performing top of funnel in driving new traffic, that it is the campaign that we spent the most on by far, more than double. So really cool to see the structure and how important not only the creative is, but actually how we can go ahead and utilize the different types of campaigns that Facebook has available to us, right? Not just regular prospecting campaigns, and we're focusing on conversions. We're utilizing dynamic creative tests still, and now we're starting to utilize things like the Advantage Plus campaign, which is allowing us to scale ad spend dramatically. Now, I'm not going to walk you guys through this video and give you upsell pitch on our UGC service, but obviously, like I mentioned, this was super important in us being able to scale this ad spend dramatically. And this is sort of the UGC framework that we take to make high creating and converting content, right? Most people create overarching video, like an unboxing video, for example, small hook, TikTok made me buy it, blah, 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 here's the product, call to action, right? Really simple, but unfortunately, right, it doesn't take people through an education process. It's not necessarily entertaining, and most importantly, it does not convert people at a higher enough percentage. So this is our performance UGC framework. We generally, again, let's just go through it like an unboxing video here. We're gonna go through a hook, problem, failed solution, product intro, features and unique selling points about the product demo, benefits, desired result, and then into the call to action. And we're going through each of these steps within 10 to 60 seconds of the entire video, because as we know today, people's attention spans are super short, and we need to make sure that, like I said, we have engaging and entertaining content that actually has people converting at the end of it. And lastly, guys, in terms of budget optimizations, right, the biggest things that we take here is focusing on our KPIs. So on a daily basis, every single day that we're seeing the performance that where we want it to be, we're increasing the budgets 10 to 20% in the places that we know it's performing. You don't need to overthink this. If you see a dip in performance, let it run for a couple of days and see how things work. I think people way overcomplicate optimization, especially at this scale when we're only spending, close to $1,000 a day. Oftentimes, touching the Facebook account is going to actually do more damage than what you think your optimizations can do. So again, keep this nice and simple. And as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're interested in wanting to work with our team, as always, the link below to apply to either work with me on a one-on-one basis in our inner circle or apply to work with our agency. There are a ton of links and other free trainings and case studies below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe and leave a like. It really does help with the algorithm. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.